Hey guys, welcome back to another video in my series here. I went ahead and I made an executive decision. By the way, my name is Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona. And I've been doing this BGP auto discovery VPN demo, and we got pretty much up to the point of configuring BGP on our autonomous systems and also injecting routes into an autonomous system. And I was really reading up on the whole hub spoke topology to get the ADVPN to work, and it is a lot more complicated than I thought. And the reason why, guys, is because it's very dependent on the flavor of FortiOS that you're running. Because if you try to do it one way, like the way that I learned it initially was for 5.4 when it first got introduced, and then they changed its behavior with 5.6, and then between 5.6 and 6 it's a certain way, and now with 6.2.1 I guess aggressive mode is now enabled, so you can start using it with the SD-WAN, whatever. Okay, I found a really good document from Fortinet breaking this down. It's pretty relative, and I'm going to put it there in the info file. Okay, so but you know what, I do not want you guys waiting like 2 weeks for me to get around to do this. All right, I am a single dad and I got my kids back, and I usually disappear for a few weeks, so it's one of those weeks. Anyways, so instead of us breaking down the videos, step by step by step, and then seeing everything work at the end, I made an executive decision to get it working on this side of our topology first. And then when I get around to it, because I might not get around to it until next week or so, we'll do this side, and then we'll connect the two together to have a multi-hub auto discovery VPN. All right. And then we'll also throw in, just because the topology is built, a dual home BGP configuration for that whole WAN redundancy. And I promise you guys, I will get it done within a week, because these all expire in in 13 days, all right, because the free VM. So, but I'm gonna just go ahead and have at it. Okay, everything here is up to the point of the last video. Now we're gonna get Auto Discovery VPN to work on this side of our topology by first configuring the Hub and Spoke VPN topology, okay? And then we're going to do the route reflectors, and then we're going to build the VPN tunnels. I mean, not the VPN tunnels. We're going to build the firewall policies. Then after that, it should just work. So also, a lot of it's done via the CLI, simply because the defaults when you use even the GUI are not going to be applicable. There's certain things that we have to turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this hub. And after this video is done, by the way, I'll go ahead and I'll take the time, if I remember, to draw out the logical things that are happening here instead of the physical connections. So, but let's go ahead and pop up hub 1, and I'll just take a moment here to make that a little bit larger. Now, once again, guys, I don't think people just do this on the fly. If you are, you're very cool. You're cooler than I am. All right. So the guide that I am following will be in that info field. Okay. But this is our hub 1 over on this topology. Okay, and this is going to be the hub of our hub and spoke VPN topology. And the whole idea of auto discovery is, once we build this topology, it can send its own shortcut packets and connect to themselves as needed dynamically. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and log into our headquarters, and the first thing we're going to do is make that phase 1 interface. Okay, so we're going to do config VPN IPsec dash interface. Oops. IPsec phase 1 dash interface. Okay. And then if I do a show here, you'll see we don't have any. So we'll do an edit, and we'll give it a name of ADVPN. All right. And then after that, we are going to set the type to dynamic. Okay. Now this is normally what we do when we're doing dial-up users. All right. So what it means is that we're not expecting an IP address on the other side. We're going to do that dynamically as different addresses come in. Okay, so there we go. And then we are going to set the net device to disable. Now this is new too. All right, so what this does, guys, is essentially allow us to have one logical VPN tunnel instead of creating independent ones for each one of the shortcuts. So in other words, it keeps just one interface on the hub, which that's okay, all right? And then we're going to do a set tunnel search, and the default is by using the quick mode selectors, but here we're going to say, hey, you know what, instead, check the routing table, all right? And then use the next hop as the destination of which tunnel to go down, all right? And that's actually how it's going to match the correct SA policies and everything like that, all right? And then we are going to bind it to an interface. I don't know if bind's the right word, but we're going to be listening on WAN port 1, all right? And then after that, we have to set the proposal, and this is going to be the Diffie-Hellman hashing cryptos needed for that phase 1 tunnel. Guys, this is the free VM. That's the only reason why we're using DES MD5, all right? So in real life, that would be way too low, but we're all pretending. Now here's where the magic comes in. When we do a set auto discovery sender enable, this essentially says, hey, I'm participating as a hub in an auto discovery VPN topology. Yeah, right? And then the set add route to disable says, hey, don't rely on IPsec, right, to inject the routes. We're going to do it through dynamic routing. So it's going to check our routing table instead of the whole ISACAMP, IKE, whatever. Okay, so and then after that, we have to authenticate somehow, right? So let's see here. Oh, there we go. Guys, I know, it's a lab environment. All right, there we go. And then we're done, all right? So we'll go ahead and we'll do an end to commit, and then we got to bind this or marry it to a phase 2. So we'll do a config VPN IPsec phase 2 interface, and we are going to call it ADVPN, all right? And then we're going to set the phase 1 name to the one that we just did, all right? And then we are going to set the proposal, because these are going to be for the multiple phase 2 tunnels that we spit out, all right? Yeah, we'll just do like DES MD5 again, all right? So, and that's it, okay? But now we also have to make logical endpoints of these VPN tunnels themselves. This way we can use it for IBGP. And I always look, they call it the overlay IP addresses. I like to think of them as like IPsec management IP addresses. All right, so here we go. We're going to do a config system interface. All right, and then we're going to edit that logical tunnel that was just created. Okay, and then we're going to set the IP address to 172.20.10.1/32. So this is going to be the endpoint of my IPsec tunnel. All right. And now, because we are going to do a route reflector here for IBGP, I'm going to set it for a dummy IP address that's not going to be used with a /24. All right. So, and the reason why it uses that dummy one is because, well, it's not really peering with a remote IP address specifically. That should have said remotes, by the way. But because something has to be defined there, we're just picking something, all right? But essentially, it's going to say anything coming in from those first 3 octets, all right? And that's another big difference. You used to not be able to do that in older versions of the FortiOS, and that's where I was getting stuck playing around with this earlier, just to let you guys know. So, all right, believe it or not, that's it for our hub. All right, let's go ahead and do spoke 1 now. Okay, so let me just change the settings here and make it a little bit bigger. All right, change settings so you guys can see what I am doing. There we go. Okay, boom. And now we're going to do it all over again. Yay. All right, so here we are. And if you're wondering which one we're doing it on, it's this guy right here. Okay. All right. And now we're going to do a config VPN IPsec phase 1 interface I'm just, for simplicity, calling it the same thing as I did on the hub. You don't have to, of course. All right, but now we're going to set this type to static, because if the other side's dynamic, someone has to have an IP address to get to it. All right, we're also going to set the interface for port 1, which is our WAN. All right, and we're going to set net device. See how I can't even do that? So, and that's just because in newer versions of FortiOS, specifically 6.2.1, you can actually do the net device disable like you did before and have one logical shared for each shortcut and the one back to hub. Unfortunately, with this one though, you're going to see it's going to have multiple interfaces. All right, to me it didn't make much of a difference, but anyways, but that's the default behavior. And now we're going to say set auto, let's see here, auto discovery as a receiver, because it is a spoke, and that's literally how we tell it that it's participating in ADVPN and it is going to be receiving shortcut queries. All right, so, or offers. And then here we can do a set add route to disable, and that way it's going to check our routing table for our dynamic routing. We're going to set our remote gateway to 10.100.1.1, because that is the interface right here. That is our make-believe WAN address of our hub 1. All right. And then we need to authenticate. Okay. All right. I think that is good. Did I set the proposal? That would have been bad. The Diffie-Hellman or the key exchange wouldn't have worked. So, all right, there we go. Now we have to do it all over again for phase 2. So we'll do a configure VPN IPsec. All right, phase 2 interface. We're going to edit ADVPN. We're going to set the proposal for our phase 2 tunnels to des MD5. All right, and that's all we should be all we need to do there. And then we're going to do a config system interface. Ooh, what did I do there? Object check failed. Phrase name must be set. Oh, duh! I forgot to marry it. Here I am all typing like a ninja. Here we go. So config VPN IPsec phase 2 edit. Oops, it didn't even, wow, it didn't even do anything. All right, cool. Edit ADVPN. We're going to set proposal. All right, but also set the phase 1 name. Yeah, that's what it was barking at me about. Anyways, my bad. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do a config system interface. All right. And then we're going to edit our VPN tunnel that was just created. All right. And then we are going to set the IP address to 172.20.2/32. All right. If you guys remember, our logical endpoint was .1, .2. Okay. And we're going to set our remote IP address to 172.20.10.1/24. And this, guys, is how our route reflector is going to make all that work. All right, so there we go. Sweet. Now we do it all over again for our spoke 2. Guys, repetition is the mother of all learning, right? All right, here we go. So, change setting, do our appearance. All right. And we're almost done with our Hub and Spoke VPN. Okay. So admin, our super secret password, we're going to configure a VPN, IPsec, phase 1 interface. We're going to edit and create an ADVPN interface. All right. We're going to set mode to static. Oops, or set type, sorry, to static. All right, we are going to set our interface to our WAN interface. We're going to set our proposal to des MD5. And then we are going to do our, see, it doesn't even have NAT devices, does it? Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, so here we go. Let's see here. Our auto discovery. All right, it's going to be a receiver enable. And then our add routes is going to be disabled because we're going to use our routing table instead, right? And then we're going to set our remote gateway to our hub, okay? And then our super secret password. Yeah, don't ever do that in real life. All right, and then we have to do a config VPN IPsec, but now it's going to be for phase 2 interface. All right, and then we're going to edit ADVPN, and then we're going to set our our phase 1 name that we just created. All right, so that binds them together. Then we're going to set our proposal to our correct cryptos and hashes. All right, and then we're going to do a config system interface, and we're going to edit that logical tunnel that just got created. All right, and we're going to set its IP address to 172.20.10, and now this is going to be a 3. All right, and then its remote IP address is going to be 172.10.1.24, and this is going to be for our route reflector. All right. Oh, it'd be nice if I did remote first, eh? Remote. Ah. Come on. Don't freak. Okay. Yeah, it's freaking out on me. Just a second, guys. Set remote IP address to 172.20.10.1 with the /24. All right, let me do a show real quick, just make sure that looks okay, and it does. And we're going to hit an end. And believe it or not, that's all we need for our hub and spoke VPN tunnels. Okay, so it should all be set up to go. All right, now while I'm still in the CLI, all right, while we're still in the CLI, let's go ahead and set up our route reflector. All right, so I'm going to go back to hub 1, okay, and now we're going to do the IBGP route reflectors, so it can learn the routes from the different places, and then it can interject them in there auto-magically. Okay, so here we go. All right, there we are. So we're going to do a configure router BGP, okay, and this is on the hub, guys. So let me move my spoke out of the way here so you can see it. All right, and that's going to be our route reflector, okay, and then we're going to set our AS as 65,000, which it should still be, by the way, from when we did this earlier, but we're going to set our router ID now as 172.20.10.1. All right, and then we're going to do a let's see here, then we're going to do a config neighbor group. All right, so this is going to be for our route reflectors. So we're going to say edit, we're going to say spokes. I don't know what else you call them. There we go. And we'll say set remote AS as the same thing. All right, and then we'll say set route reflector client to enable. And believe it or not, that's what we have to do to get it as a route reflector. All right, so, all right, we're still in BGP, so let's go ahead and configure the neighbor range of where they're coming in from, because that's the whole point, because normal BGP, IBGP has to have everyone being meshed together. But here we'll just say, hey, you know what? They're going to be coming in from a prefix. Come on. There we go. They're going to be coming in from a prefix of 172.20.10.0/24. And now you know why we did that, right? And then we're also going to marry it to our neighbor group that we just created, spokes. All right. And then after that, say we're back at BGP, we have to go ahead and now say what prefixes we own, right? So we're going to say, let's do a show here because I think we already have a prefix that we did earlier. So let's say edit to. Oh, sorry, config network. There we go. Edit to. Okay. And then we're going to set our prefix now to our 10.10.1.0/24. So these are the ones that we're going to advertise as we owning locally from the hub. All right. And that is all we need. Okay, so let's hop over now to our spoke one and do the same thing. We're going to do a config router. I'm not going to autocomplete that. BGP. Okay, now if we do a show here, you'll see we already had it set up for our, let's see here. Oh, did I not clear that out? No, I did. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the BGP wasn't set up from the last time I tried it out before starting to record this. I got confused because this is all the route reflector stuff that we had to do inside the IPsec tunnel. I just wanted to show you guys that there was nothing there. So, but that's okay. We wanted nothing to be there, right? So are you guys ready? We're going to go ahead and do a set AS as the same thing as our hub. All right. We're also going to set our router ID now, though, as our IP address of our management IPsec tunnel. All right, so that's going to be 172.20.10.2. Okay. Then we have to do a config neighbor, and that's going to be the other end of our IPsec tunnel. So we're going to edit. Let's see here, 172.20.10.1. Okay, and we're going to set the remote AS as the same as ours, 65.0.0.0. Okay, and that should be it, I believe. And then we just got to say what IP addresses are ours. All right, by setting our prefix. Let's see here, set prefix to 10.10.2.0/24. All right, and that should be it there. And let's just do it on our very last one here, because I know these videos are going way too long. All right, so we're going to do a config router BGP. Okay, we're going to set our AS as 65,000. Okay, we're going to set our router ID as 172.20.10, right? 3. Okay, set our config neighbor. All right, we're going to edit 172.20.10.1, which is our hub. Okay, and set its remote AS as the same as ours because it's a route reflector. All right, and then we have to tell it what prefixes to advertise. All right. Oh, nope, we have to do an edit network first. Sorry, config network. There we go. And then we're going to edit 1 to make a new entry. All right, and then we're going to say, hey, you know what? We own on our side anything that starts with a 3, okay? Or ends in the third octet, whatever. End, boom. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's make it happen. Now here I'm going to go GUI style, all right, just to write the firewall policies because I can. All right, so let's start with our hub 1. All right, and that's all that is left to write the right firewall policies to let this through, okay? So we're just simply going to say, let's see here. Policy and objects, IP4 policy. All right, we're going to create new. And we are going to call this something from like, let's see, from spokes. So this is coming from the spokes into our let's see here. I think we wanted to pop into our LAN eventually too, right? Let me just double check. To spokes from spokes, right? Yeah. So from spokes, pop to our LAN. And here we're just going to do all in all. We should be more specific than this, but I might clean it up a little later. NAT turned off. All right. And then, because we do have NAT turned off, we can just clone the inverse, then pop in there and say from spokes. Isn't that convenient? Yep, so we'll say from spokes. What? Did we already from spokes? Oh, did I name that wrong? I did name that wrong, didn't I? Okay, that is to the spokes. Okay, nope, that's right, because this is our local LAN going out to the spokes. NAT's turned off. Just make sure that you enable the policy, because when you clone it, it's turned off. All right, and now we need to make one more that says spoke to spoke. Okay, so we'll just say spoke to spoke. So if they come in our ADVPN, out our ADVPN, coming from wherever. But you guys see how we could do like a 10.10 here, summation to keep it a little more specific. NAT turned off. All right, so that is good for one side. So let's go over to our spoke one and do the same thing. All right, but here we just have to say to the spoke, from the spoke. All right, so let's go to our firewall policy on spoke 1, policy and objects, IP4. Okay, we're going to create new. And this one's going to say from ADVPN. All right, so it's going to come from our logical tunnel, bloop, and it's going to pop out of our LAN port. And we're going to say all, no NAT. All right. And then we're going to clone the reverse. And we're going to say 2. Yeah. Now I could have done this through the CLI too, but I hate making firewall policies in the CLI. So to ADVPN. Okay. There we go. And then last but not least, we got to do it here. I know. Get a FortiManager. Get send dynamic mapping. Run some scripts, Devin. All right, here we go. So create new. It is a lot of overhead, but still, it's I think better to show a proof of concept step by step. So we'll say from ADVPN. All right, and this is spoke 3. No, we want spoke 2. Ding dong. I was on the wrong side of the world. Sorry, guys. I was over here in Europe. All right, here we go. I even colored them differently, so I know if it was blue, red, and white, it'd be like over here, and it's still done me dirty. So here we go. All right, IP4, IPsec, or IP4 policies. All right, we're going to create a new one, and we're going to say from ADVPN. So from ADVPN. So we are incoming, popping out to our LAN. All right, all. Okay. And of course, you could restrict that down if you wanted to. All right, here we go. And then we'll clone it. All right, and we'll say to ADVPN. There we go, to ADVPN. All right. And guys, that should be it. Here's the moment of truth. Here's how we're gonna test it out. So, you know, we got the tunnels, we got the route reflector, we got the firewall policies. So in theory here, I should be able to come in here, all right? And this is my DHCP. This is my virtual PC that can just pretty much ping. Okay, that's about it. We should be able to ping those other interfaces. All right, so here I'm going to say ping 10.10.1.254. All right, and as you can see, it's making it through the VPN to our headquarters. But watch what happens when we try to send it to our branch office spoke 2. All right, so timed out, timed out, timed out, timed out. Okay, that's not good. I did that on purpose. Not really. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on here. Not a big deal. Okay, for starters, we know that spoke 1 worked. So let's go to spoke 1. Okay, and I'm going to come over here and check a couple of different places. For one, I want to make sure that my BGP is working. All right, so you see how it found out where BGP was. All right, of those other routes. My route reflector is working there. Okay, so now let's go over to my spoke 2 though and see if BGP is working, because if routing's not working on this, guys, it's just not going to happen. So let's go over to monitor. All right, let's go over to routing monitor. Okay, and yeah, it looks like BGP is happening. Okay, so see right there. All right, and the tunnel's up, so that's good. The only thing that can happen after that is a firewall policy. All right, so let's go back to our firewall policies after that. In fact, let me come here and see if I can't ping something over here. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to do a ping 10.10.3.254. All right, well, there you go. Okay, I can reach from it from there. I just can't reach it from here. You see that? Oh, it's up. Okay, you know what? Actually, guys, it just took a little bit for everything to get learned. Because what you just witnessed, all right, I was just being too impatient. What you just witnessed was it going down the headquarters back to the spoke 2. And then this right here was the shortcut negotiation for them to talk directly together. So we lost a packet there, but once it was there, the tunnel came up, and look at the latency. See how it's a whole lot shorter? And that's because they formed their own IPsec tunnel. I don't know if like BGP was just taking a minute to get everything together or what have you up here, but eventually once everything just populated through and all was right with the world, everything is working. So let's take a look. All right, let's see if that's truly the case. Okay, and how we can check that is going to our IPsec monitor. And if you guys notice here, we have our VPN tunnel to headquarters, but look at that. What? We have a direct connection to spoke 1. And you see that little O right there, guys? Yeah, guess what that is? Auto Discovery VPN. And that will stay up until the timers time out. All right, as long as traffic's passing through it, guys, it will stay up. Once it doesn't need it anymore, it'll pull it down. And what happens here is that it builds it the long way. Then using routes and the fact that this is a forwarder that can see all the big picture, right? A route reflector, sorry. It went ahead and said, hey, you know what? They could also talk directly to themselves, and it works. So there you guys go. That is auto discovery VPN in the flesh, happening in action. What? What? Yeah. So, and you guys saw it step-by-step action. So this is going on too long, so I'll leave it there. Okay. But yeah, so we just did that. We created a hub and spoke topology with all of these guys, okay? And we got auto discovery to work. Now the next challenge, and it's not gonna happen anytime soon, all right, just because I'm busy, but we're gonna do the same thing over here on hub 2, okay? And then we're gonna connect them together using auto discovery forwarder, and then also peer them together using BGP. And here, if spoke 3 wants to talk to spoke 2, we're gonna send the shortcut path the long way. And while we have our BGP configuration up, guys, as a bonus, I'm going to do a dual home BGP configuration just because I can. I'll add another AS in here, and we'll see if we can't get dual home to work. So, all right, guys. So in the next video, we'll do hub number 2, and it'll be almost identical. And then the next video after that, we're going to combine the two. All right. But there you guys go. There's auto discovery step by step in the flesh. Check out the link that I put in the info, because that was the guide that I was using, because it has all the different flavors of FortiOS on there that you have to be cautious of. And until next time, guys. All right. Peace.